The results for the first horse in this class, horse number 264, Espimara, owned by Mohammed bin Isa Boushahab. For type, 19, 19, 18.5, 19, 18.5, 19, and 19. Head and neck, 18.5, 19, 19, 19, 19, 19, and 19. For body and top line, 18, 18, 17.5, 18, 18, 18, and 18. For legs, 15.5, 15.5, 15.5, 16, 16, 16, and 15. For movement, 19, 19, 19.5, 19, 18.5, 19, and 19.5. With a total score of 90.70 for horse number 264. Results for horse number 269, D Al Harith, owned by the Al Tayyar Arabian Horse Stud. For type, 19, 19.5, 19, 18.5, 19, 19, and 19.5. For head and neck, 19, 19, 19, 18.5, 19, 18.5, and 19. For body and top line, 18, 18.5, 17.5, 17.5, 18.5, 18, and 18. For legs, 16.5, 16, 15.5, 16, 16, 16, 15.5. For movement, 19, 19.5, 19.5, 19.5, 19, 19, and 19.5. With a total score of 91.20 for horse number 269. The results for horse number 270, S. Sharaz, owned owned by Mohammed Abdelhamid Taha. For type 19, 19.5, 19.5, 19, 19, 19.5, 19. Head and neck 19, 19, 19.5, 19, 19.5, 19 and 19. For body and top line 17.5, 18, 18, 18, 18, 17.5 and 18.5 and 17.5. For legs 15.5, 15.5, 15.5, 16, 15.5, 15.5 and 16. And for movement 19, 19, 19, 19.5, 19.5, 19 and 19.5 with a total score of 91 points for horse number 270. The results for horse number 271, Fakhr Al Khalidiyya, owned by Sheikh Abdullah bin Mohammed Al Thani. For type 19.5, 19.5, 19, 19, 19.5, 19.5 and 19.5. For head and neck, a unanimous score of 19.5. For body and top line, 17.5, 18, 18, 18, 18.5, 18 and 18. For legs, 15.5, 17, 15.5, 16, 16, 15.5 and 16. And for movement, 19, 19, 19.5, 19, 18.5, 19.5 and 19. With a total score of 91.90 for horse number 271. The results for horse number 272, AJA Angelo, owned by the Al Baida stud and the Al May stud. For type, 19.5, 19.5, 20, 19.5, 19.5, 19.5, 20. For head and neck, 19.5, 19.5, 19.5, 19.5, 20, 20, 19.5. For body and top line, 18.5, 18, 18, 18.5, 18, 18 and 18. For legs, 16.5, 16, 16.5, 16, 16, 16 and 16. For movement, 19, 19, 19.5, 19, 19, 19 and 19.5. With a total score of 92.50 for horse number 272. The results for horse number 273, AJ Daras, owned by Mohammed bin Isa Boushahab. For type, 18.5, 19.5, 19, 19, 19, 19 and 19.5. Head and neck, 18.5, 19, 19, 18.5, 19, 19, 19.5. Body and top line, 18, 18.5, 18, 18, 18, 18 and 18. For legs, 16, 16, 15.5, 15.5, 16, 16, 15.5. For movement, 19, 19.5, 19.5, 19.5, 19, 19 and 19.5. With a total score of 91.10 for horse number 273. The results for horse number 274, D Fawaz, owned by Hamid bin Ahmed Al Kuwaiti. For type, 18, 19, 18.5, 18.5, 18.5, 18.5 and 19. For head and neck, 18.5, 18.5, 18.5, 18.5, 18.5, 17.5, and 17.5. For body and top line, 17.5, 18, 18, 18.5, 18, 17.5, and 18. For legs, 15, 15.5, 15.5, 16, 15, 15, and 15.5. For movement, 18, 18.5, 19, 18.5, 18, 18, and 18.5. With a total score of 88.40 for horse number 274. Results for horse number 276, Hado, owned by the Al Faras Arabian Horse Stud. For type, 19.5, 19.5, 19.5, 18.5, 19.5, 19.5, and 19.5. For head and neck, 19, 19, 19.5, 18, 19.5, 19, and 19.5. For body and top line, 17.5, 18, 17.5, 17.5, 17.5, 18, and 17.5. For legs, 15.5, 15.5, 15.5, 16, 15.5, 15.5, and 15.5. For movement, 19.5, 20, 20, 20, 19, 19.5, 20. With a total score of 91.60 for horse number 276. The results for the last horse in this class, horse number 277, SG Badr, owned by Mohammed bin Isa Boushahab. For type, 18.5, 19, 18.5, 18.5, 19, 18.5, and 19. Head and neck, 18, 18.5, 18.5, 18, 19, 19, and 18.5. For body and top line, a unanimous score of 18. For legs, 15.5, 15.5, 15, 15.5, 15.5, 16, and 15.5. For movement, 18.5, 19, 18.5, 19, 18.5, 18.5, and 19. With a total score of 89.40 for horse number 277. And the final results for class number 13 for stallions age 7 to 9. In first place, we have horse number 272, AJ Angelo, owned by the Al Bayda stud and the Al May stud, with a total score of 92.50 points. In second place, horse number 271, Fakhr Al Khalidiya, owned by Sheikh Abdullah bin Mohammed Al Thani, with a total score of 91.90 points. In third place, horse number 276, Hadao, owned by the Al Faras Arabian Horse Stud, with a total score of 91.60 points. In fourth place, horse number 269, D Al Harith, owned by the Al Tayyar Arabian Horse Stud, with a total score of 91.20 points. And in fifth place, horse number 273, AJ Daras, owned by Mohammed bin Isa Abu Shahab, with a total score of 91.10 points.
ندعو السيد خليفة النعيمي مدير مربط الأريام العربية خيول، تفضل مشكورا لتسليم جوائز الفائزين وتهانينا للفائزين. طبعا في المركز الأول رقم 272 اللي هو أنجليو، ومملوك لمربط طبعا التلاوي والمي استد. وفي المركز الثاني رقم 271 اللي هو فخر الخالدية الشيخ عبد الله بن محمد بن علي آل ثاني. وفي المركز الثالث رقم 276 اللي هو هداوة ومملوك لمربط الفراس للخيول العربية. وفي المركز الرابع اللي هو 269 رقم 269 اللي هو دي الحارث المملوك لمربط الطيار للخيول العربية. وأخيرا في المركز الخامس اللي هو 273 اللي هو عين جيم دراس المملوك للسيد محمد عيسى خليفة أبو شاب. تهانينا للفائزين ونتمنى لكم كل التوفيق إن شاء الله، والإخوان اللي محالفهم الحظ إن شاء الله في المرات الأخرى. طبعا هناك تبقت عندنا لمشوار بطولتنا لهذا اليوم فئة واحدة وضم عدد قليل من الخيول، وعددها 12 خيل إذا ما كان في أي انسحاب. وهذه الفئة هي فئة طبعا أو الشوط الرابع عشر الفحول بعمر 10 سنوات وأكبر. كل التوفيق إن شاء الله للجميع، ونشكر السيد خليفة النعيمي مربط الأريام للخيول العربية لتفضلي مشكورا لتسليم الجوائز على الفائزين وتهانينا للفائزين مرة ثانية، وكل التوفيق إن شاء الله للجميع.
We'd like to thank Mr. Khalifa Al-Naimi, representing the Al Aryam stud, for awarding our prizes for this class. We'd like to kindly ask the handlers to now exit the arena as we can begin the last class for this evening, class number 14 for stallions age 10.